Mr. Edit Man presents, what's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you? I had my car stolen when I was 19. A few months later I was driving my new car from Seattle to Portland at 3 a.m. No other traffic around, and my stolen car passed me on my left. I followed the guy for about 120 miles back to Portland. At one point he pulled beside me and waved at me, thinking we were road rally pals. I returned a death stare, followed him home, called the cops, and got my car back. When I think of what had to align for my car to find me again, it blows my mind. I also got my car stolen when I was 19. Someone had taken it for a joyride. The next day an anonymous caller found the car abandoned. It had a full tank. It was near empty before the theft, and a 6-pack in the back seat. Also found a neat knife. Thanks, guy.
Man, what a generous criminal.
Somebody knocked a glass bottle of Snapple off the shelf, and I had to go clean it up. I looked at the cap, and it was a winner from their prize event. It was for a $500 gift card. I was at a mall and heard a woman scream from the upper level. I turned around, looked up ... and reflexively caught a toddler who had somehow managed to squeeze between the iron safety rails and fallen literally on top of me, a good 20-25 feet below. Perfect catch. Not a scratch. I have replayed this in my head dozens of times and still to this day do not know how the hell I did this. Got laid off 2 days before Christmas. Had $10 in my bank account. Said duck it and bought a 6-pack and a $1 scratch of $1,200.
For real?
For real. It got me through the next month and a half until my unemployment kicked in. This was about 2 years ago, and I have not had a whole lot of luck with scratch-offs since, though it's fun to try every once in a while. Surviving what should have been a fatal car crash. Before that day I never wore my seatbelt. Yes, I was an idiot. I left work that day for some reason just out of nowhere. I decided to put it on. 10 minutes later, somebody blew a stop sign from a side street and I T-boned them gong about 45-50 miles per hour. It felt like I hit a brick wall. The car was totaled, and I most likely would not have lived had I not put my seatbelt on.
What happened to the people in the other car?
I hit them more on the fender than the driver's side door, so they walked away with a few scratches, but nothing too serious. Funny story about that guy though. He lived a few blocks from there and had just gotten off the phone with his wife, who said she was divorcing him. In rage, he grabbed the keys to his brother's Corvette and sped off to go talk to her or something. He blew that stop sign in the process. This is what one of the officers told me. What an awful day for that guy. I was in a foreign airport, running late, and just missed the damn train like the sliding door slammed on my foot. Had to wait 10 minutes for the next one. Got chatting to a girl. Now married for 6 years. I had just turned 30, some failed relationships behind me, as we all have, including a cheating fiance. Anyway, I went out for breakfast with my mother one morning, to one of our favorite restaurants. We sat down, and then I heard someone calling my name from the next booth over. I look over and see a friend of mine, and with her is a beautiful woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, exactly my type. I would love to be able to say I was perfectly suave and swept her off her feet. However, nerves got the better of me, and I stammered hello, mumbled some inane small talk, and even shook her hand at the end of the conversation, and went back to my breakfast, feeling like a total buffoon. As I sat there thinking that I had to do something to redeem myself, I managed to catch the eye of my friend who was with her, and mouthed, "Is she single?" She got a little smirk on her face, and subtly nodded yes. I just about had a heart attack. At this point I think she lost patience, and indicated she would send me this blonde beauty's email address after she found out if it was okay to do so from her friend. Little did I know that at the same time I was prodding for info, the blonde girl, whose name was Heather I had finally remembered, was asking for details about me. Breakfast ended, and I said goodbye to the two of them, and went home. 2 hours later, email address in hand, I sent off my hello message to Heather, and immediately got a response. Our first date was a week later, and now, 7 years later, we are coming up on our 5th wedding anniversary, and we have a beautiful, sweet little girl who is the spitting image of her mother. Heather carried me through some terrible times when I was a primary caregiver for my mother, who died of cancer after a 2-year struggle. I do not know how I would have survived changing my mom's diapers, changing catheters, or the horrid events that come with home care of a terminal cancer patient, without the constant love and support of this amazing woman. The fact she stayed with me during this time even though we had just started dating when my mother's diagnosis was discovered. Amazes me and still brings me to tears. I love my wife, and thank goodness I decided to take a day off work and go for breakfast with my mother. Luckiest day of my life. I do not know how lucky it is, but the odds of this must be astronomical. When I was about 7, I was walking in a field, and out of nowhere a snake just landed on my neck. I freaked the duck out and ripped it off and looked around to see who did it, but it was a large field and there was no place for people to hide. Anyways, I ended up finding the snake and brought it home, and it lived with me for a good 4 years until it slithered away, and I never saw it again. Your snake had probably been caught by a hawk or an eagle or something and was about to be its dinner, but managed to get away. Then he landed on you and you took him home and fed him and took care of him. So it was a lucky day for the snake too. Don't not worry. Mr. Slithers just went on to find more adventures. In my freshman year of college, my roommate went to dinner 20 minutes before I did. Because of this, he was sitting alone. Because he was sitting alone, he got invited by a girl to sit with their table. When I came along, I was also invited to sit with them. This group later introduced me to the love of my life, who I never would have had any reason to meet otherwise, all because my roommate left for dinner early. I called a beer company's question and comment line in hopes of getting a free shirt. They gave me an all-expense paid trip to Las Vegas for me and 3 of my friends. When I was about 4 I had an illness, HSP. It started off with some rashes, and then my kidneys shut down. So, you see, when your kidneys shut down, your body cannot regulate your water retention, and you end up retaining all the water. So my legs swelled up with water and I could not walk. My mom took me to my pediatrician, who was a fraudulent duckface, and he told my mom I had sprained my ankles, which was why I could not walk. She believed him and brought me home. The lucky part is when my dad, who has a doctorate in biology, came home, took one look at me and said, "She's going into shock." I would have died then if my dad was not smart enough to figure out what was wrong. Should have sued my pediatrician's ass. I do not know why we did not. A while back, I was unemployed, broke as duck, and job searching like crazy. I had applied to at least 30 plus places and had some interviews over the course of 5 months, but remained jobless. One night, I decided to walk to the local pizza place instead of get it delivered. My fiancé at the time bought the pizza. Well, on the walk back, I noticed a baby bird laying in the middle of the road. I stopped, stared at it for a moment before picking it up and setting it under a nearby bush. Next day, I receive a call from one of the places I had recently interviewed at, asking if I could come fill in some paperwork. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, it turns out, the hiring manager was with her girlfriend at a bar, having a drink on the patio, and happened to see me save the bird. Earlier in the day, she had been going through all of the potential applicants, and after seeing that, decided to hire me right then. It's been a little over a year now. I no longer have my fiancé, but I still have the same job and I recently got promoted to shift leader. Not only that, but the manager and I have become fairly good friends and she's helped me out in my personal life a lot as well. Not much to be proud of, I suppose, but I could not have asked for anything better. I once got to bottle feed and hold a baby orangutan when I was about 13. It sucked knowing at such a young age that was going to be the best thing that ever happened in my life. Edit. I did not mean for that to come across as depressing. I have had a really great life so far. I'm just saying holding a baby orangutan is really ducking awesome. One time I ordered a double cheeseburger and got a Big Mac meal. I totally should have drowned on 2 separate occasions. Story 1. When I was around 3 or 4, my mom was with me by the pool in our backyard. She was cleaning the patio nearby with a hose. I was just chilling out being a toddler. Anyway, she had her back turned to me for a few moments, and when she turned around again I was nowhere in sight. Turns out I decided to crawl into the pool. She jumped in, and I was already at the bottom, apparently with a big smile on my face. Don't not know why. I had not the slightest idea how to swim. When she pulled me out I was giggling with joy. She did not find it as funny apparently. Story 2. I was about 9 or 10, and my brother and I had this nice tucked away beach all to ourselves in Santa Cruz. It was about a 100-yard stretch of beach with rocks closing it in. Very cozy. Anyway, He was taking a nap, and I got in a bit over my head going out to the 7-foot breakers. I ducked up and took a wave the wrong way, pounded against the seafloor a bit, and swallowed a bunch of water. When the wave subsided I was too out of it / weak to fight the rip tide, and I floated out again, just to get pounded by another wave. Brother somehow woke up, came out, grabbed me, and swam me back in. He is a lifeguard, so I was fortunate to have that on my side. I had swallowed too much water to yell, so I do not know how he woke up, but I would have definitely died. He probably has not thought twice about it, but I definitely remember it every time I'm close to the ocean. Was not me, but my best friend was in a toy store at the outlet mall. He was standing in line waiting to check out when a young boy and his mom cut in front of my friend. Being mature, he did not say anything and let it go. 10 seconds later an old lady drives into the store, hit the wrong pedal by accident, and kills the mom and son who cut in front of my friend. They walked away without a scratch. I got shat on by a pigeon. If you are reading this, you watched until the end of the video. Smash that like button if you have enjoyed it. Bam. On screen there should be some more videos similar to this. So either go do something else, or watch more videos. That's about it. There is no more here. What are you waiting for, a secret message or something? This is not a secret, but subscribe for more videos like this.